This Shabbat is unlike any other. We're not here together with one another physically filling our beautiful temple home, the Saban Theatre. But you know what? We're still together emotionally and spiritually. Someone said that somebody you love can be thousands of miles away, but you feel that powerful connection and bond as if they were sitting right next to you. That's really true. You know that the bond of love and connection, spiritual connection, is very powerful. And we can close our eyes and see us together with the people we care about in life. Even though we can't reach out and physically touch them, we can touch them from our hearts. The Torah reading for this Shabbat begins the cycle of the reading from the third of the 5 books of Moses, the third of the books of the Torah, Viakra Leviticus. And what is Leviticus all about? If you read through the book, you'll see it's all about sacrifices, the different sacrifices that were offered during the time that the Israelites wandered and later at the time of the Holy Temple. And what does the word sacrifice mean? The Hebrew word is karban, which comes from the root karov, to draw near. That's our way of drawing near to God. But really, it's also our way of drawing near to each other and connecting with one another. Even though we have physical limitations today with this dreadful virus that is wreaking havoc around the world, we can still feel connected with one another. And if we think about the concept of sacrifice, we're all called upon to make sacrifices. As we grow and mature, we make sacrifices of our time, our most valuable possession, to accomplish other things that we seek and aspire to. When we have children, we make sacrifices for them. And when we deal with an elderly parent, we make sacrifices for their well-being. So life is all about making sacrifices. And today we're called upon to make sacrifices of our mobility and socially distance from one another to prevent the spread of a horrific disease. We can all do that. It's really a small sacrifice. When we think about the sacrifices that were offered in the ancient temple, many of us who are not Orthodox, who are more liberal Jews, don't really believe that the ancient temple, if and when it should be rebuilt, will ever restore the sacrificial order. But it's very interesting. The rabbis say that if one sacrifice remains, which one will it be? Karban Todah, the thanks offering, because we have so much to be thankful for. We can be thankful for the freedoms in our great country. You know, someone commented recently that the coronavirus, which originated in Wuhan, China, that 7 or 8 physicians noticed that so many of their patients were coming down with this disease. But the Chinese Communist government refused to allow them to publish their findings. In fact, it repressed them. How thankful we are that we live in a free country where we can comment and critique and criticize and be on the front lines of expressing what we believe about solving problems in a democracy. What a gift that is, something to truly be thankful for. And when we think about all of the blessings that we have in our lives, there's so much to be thankful for. Even though we might feel frustrated and restricted right now, there's a lot to thank God for in our lives. Think about that and maybe pause and reflect and use this time. This time is a great gift. It forces us to change the patterns of our behavior, of rushing to and fro frenetically, of being constantly connected with our technology. Take a break. This time calls us to change and to consider the change in the way we conduct our lives so that we can live truly more fulfilled lives, lives of spiritual and deep interpersonal connection. That opportunity is there because of what has happened as a result of dealing with this coronavirus. And when I think about the Torah reading for the next few weeks through the book of Leviticus, we have our greatest quote, one of the greatest quotes from the Torah, the golden rule: love your neighbor as yourself. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Love your neighbor as yourself. Loving those around us, recognizing that we're all going through a common struggle in this life, and we have to have the reliance on one another and the great love that God has shown us, the great love that is within the capacity of each human being. I hope we'll take these messages to heart and begin to live as fully as possible and recognize that this moment is a passing moment in the history of humanity. There have been many plagues and disasters and viruses throughout the ages. In fact, almost every 100 years, 1720, 1820, 1920, and now in 2020. And we're called upon to join in that effort, to be, if you will, enlisted in the army of combating a virus. All of us can be proud that we were part of that effort, and that with God's help, our efforts will succeed and bear fruit and restore us to everything we wish to have restored in our lives. Amen.